regular city commission meeting in order. Please rise for the invocation, followed by the pledge of allegiance. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for the opportunity that we have here this evening. We know, Lord, that you give every person special talents. We ask that this commission uses their special talents in different ways to come to the best decisions for our community. So, Lord, please bless this city commission. Please look after all employees and first responders, Lord. Please keep them safe and their families. Please look after and guide us all. For all these things we ask in your precious name. Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome all here this evening. First on the agenda this evening is approval of our minutes for January the 26th. They have been distributed. Are there any additions, deletions, or corrections? Hearing none, we need a motion. So moved. We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second? We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion carried unanimously. On our first reading of public hearing of those ordinances, ordinance 22-40, 22-41, and 22-42, they will be extended. Continue. Ordinance 23-05.
Ordinance 23-05, an ordinance of the City of Winter Garden, Florida, amending the future land use map of the Winter Garden Comprehensive Plan by changing the land use designation of real property generally described as approximately 1.603 plus minus acres of land generally located at 996 East Plant Street on the southwest corner of East Plant Street and 11th Street from industrial to commercial, providing for severability, providing for effectiveness.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. This is a request to amend the future land use designation and rezone a 1.603 acre property located at 996 East Plant Street. The applicant is requesting the future land use designation be changed from industrial to commercial, and the property be rezoned from I-2 to CAPUD, which is Character Area Planned Unit Development. The applicant intends to develop the property with 3 new 2-story commercial buildings along with associated site design elements such as a parking lot in the interior of the site, a stormwater pond, and landscaping. This property does fall within the city's East Plant Street Character Area overlay, so they have designed the site to meet the overlay's architectural and site design criteria, including installing a 12-foot wide multimodal path along East Plant Street with landscaping, a pedestrian plaza, and amenities. The applicant is also the owner of Mosaic Salon, and he intends to open a new salon in the corner building on East Plant Street and 11th Street, which is shown right here on this image. The other tenants have not been finalized yet, but other potential uses include retail, restaurant, and/or professional office uses. On Monday, the Planning and Zoning Board recommended approval of the ordinances, but did make a motion that the CAPUD ordinance includes some additional language that clarifies that reclaimed water is not currently available to supply the irrigation system, but the system will be set up to be hooked into the reclaimed service at a later date when it becomes available in the area. Staff did not have time to make this change in time for the agenda, but we will add it for the second reading if the ordinance is approved tonight. And, sorry.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay. I realized there were some questions that came up about the design of the proposed buildings, and I realized there was a lot of limited information that was included in your packet with the architecture, and all that was really shown was just those flat elevations, which I realize is a very poor way to kind of convey what it's going to look like and feel like on the ground level. So I wanted to show you some more views that kind of better illustrate what the design is actually going to look like and all of the details that were not shown very well in that package. So what's shown here, which I believe was the only kind of perspective view that was included with the package, shows the view from Plant Street and 11th Street on the corner. As you can see, the main building on the corner is brick, and it wraps around the East Plant Street. East Plant Street as it transitions into a semi-enclosed courtyard, which is located here, number 7, is kind of an enclosed indoor-outdoor courtyard. And it has a brick facade that connects it to another brick building on the west end of the site, which is number 2, called out here. As you can see by these more detailed renderings, this East Plant Street elevation is very brick heavy throughout the entire elevation. But as you round the corner here on 11th Street, the third building, which is identified as building 3 on this exhibit, changes from a brick to a smooth white stucco. The design intent was to provide kind of a visual breath of fresh air. This change of material palette would help emphasize the corner building, and it also provides kind of a visual break from all the brick. The two buildings are connected both visually and physically by a large pedestrian plaza that's located on the ground level shown here, as well as a elevated catwalk that connects the two buildings on the second floor. So this is the material mood board for the white stucco building on 11th Street. As you can see, the intent was to use the white smooth stucco as a backdrop to really let the details shine through. And to illustrate that, here are some kind of better, more close-up images of the details of that building. I'm just going to run through some of these. So those details include things like a wood frame storefronts on the first level with wood soffits above that you can see. Operable steel-framed factory-style windows, various tile accents, including terracotta, which you can see on this image, those terracotta tiles on the facade, as well as zillige tile, faced canopy. This canopy here would be faced with tile as well, with plants that drape over the edge. On the interior of the site, there's even more tile, including some Mosaic tile that's located on the interior facing the parking lot. And so here are just some views of that interior courtyard area that ties all of the buildings together. As you can see, there's just a lot of materials and texture and changes throughout the building. And this is the side of the building that faces that interior parking lot. It features a series of balcony spaces that are intended to provide outdoor space for those second floor offices, as well as kind of reinforce that overall design intent that seeks to kind of blur those lines between the indoor and the outdoor spaces. And here's some additional views. This is from North Street to the south, looking over the parking lot and the rear of the buildings. And just some night views for additional views. And to close, I also wanted to briefly touch on the East Plant Street overlay itself and what the overlay requires in terms of the architectural design. The goal when we adopted the overlay was to establish criteria for East Plant Street that would be of very high quality, but would not necessarily replicate the architecture in historic downtown. It's its own area and will have its own character as things redevelop there. While the mercantile brick architecture that is typical of downtown is permitted in the overlay, we actually also, as a part of that overlay, allowed for some more modern type architectural styles. And these are pages from the overlay requirements. So in reviewing this project, it was staff's contention that even though Building 3 is a more modern expression of a Mediterranean-style building, the design details reflect the type of quality architecture that we're aiming for when we adopted those overlay standards. So with that, staff would recommend approval of ordinances 23-05 and 23-06, with the changes recommended by the Planning and Zoning Board to clarify the irrigation system requirements. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, let's go ahead and read 2306 and go over it one time.
Ordinance 23-06, an ordinance of the City of Winter Garden, Florida, rezoning certain real property generally described as approximately 1.603 plus minus acres of land, generally located at 996 East Plant Street on the southwest corner of East Plant Street and 11th Street from I-2 General Industrial District to CAPUD Character Area Planned Unit Development, providing for certain CAPUD requirements and describing the development as the Mosaic, Salon, CAPUD, providing for severability, providing for effectiveness.
Thank you. Well, certainly the images you showed here are quite different than the ones that we had here, because I think, from our perspective, we just want to make sure that this is, part of the overlay, part of our CRA extension, one of the first buildings, and we want to set the bar high to ensure that the others follow suit. So that's where I was coming from. So thank you for this. Questions from the commission?
Any look from Dover Coal on this? I meant to ask John earlier today, and I forgot.
They're aware of the project. In fact, they're redoing the master plan, doing an update for it right now, and they're actually going to include this project as part of the overall
I'm excited about it. To me, it'll be the first of many. It's needed in this area. It'll bring some jobs. I know the architecture is, and I had some of the same feelings. It's above my pay grade. I trust you guys. I know this. I appreciate the explanation, because sometimes you look at it, and I know it's a challenge to build something that's affordable, but also unique and attractive, and be a catalyst for other things to happen. So I appreciate the explanation, and I'm very pleased with it. So thank you.
From my side here, Hello, Mayor. Thank you for the better pictures. Really helped explain it, and it is an absolutely beautiful building. Just two questions. When we take a look at the front of the Mosaic on Platt Street, at that one, they have a really unique front vestige there. There you go. That's just as well as any other. Any chance that that front facade near the courtyard could be more of a living wall and just continue to add to the greenery and enhancement that we normally know for in winter? Not trying to architect, just a suggestion, so.
Just to clarify, which section of the?
This would be the center section here where we have all the bricks with the holes that goes through there when we do that kind of design work.
We could potentially look into.
It's just something to look at, not a requirement.
Okay. We can look into that, sure.
Yeah, well, we've done some living walls in the past, those always, and I've seen those in other areas. And then what is the construction of the sky bridge for the second floor between the two? I did not see that specifically called out.
That appears to be, do you know the materials that are going to be used for that? Is that going to be a? This is Mike, he's the owner of Mosaic Salon, the property.
Mayor and council, thank you so much for your time, I appreciate it. Currently, I do not know the materials.
Can you give?
Address, all this.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the fun stuff.
My family will be on 2219 Howard Drive, Winter Park, Florida. Thank you so much for your time. As far as the materials of the bridge, I or the walkway, I am unsure of what they would be. But I would like to kind of give you a better, broader overview as to why we came up with the concept in this particular design. We have been blessed, my wife and I, in the tradition, we're a small business. We started our business, just her and I, and we have to grow to several locations. Being originally also from Winter Garden, having lived here, my parents are still here at Colonial Drive. We knew that this was our natural third extension, and we were looking for the characteristic that you were seeking, exactly what we are seeking. The thing that has made us successful, we are in walkable, very community-focused areas. We have our first salon is in Ivanhoe on Virginia Drive, and our second location is in the Milk District on Dundee. When we did a heat map of where all our customers, we were customers of Peligrow, Winter Garden was a clear standout winner. Lots of clients that actually drive from Winter Garden to go to one of our two salons, actually have one of our customers here in support. The focus that we really wanted is that we know that vibe, presence of buildings is half your marketing. And when we hired James to kind of create that, we really leaned in on him understanding that what made us successful are areas where people want to be. And so the aesthetic, the presence of the building really calls out to wanting for people to be there. We're already currently in the pre-talk construction conversation with R.C. Stevens and some other excellent contractors here in the area, just to make sure that we kind of everyone's on the same page on being that what we want is exactly what you want, an area that is walkable, that has presence, and that people want to go to. That's been our method of growth, and we've been blessed to even consider being here. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions, Commissioner? In line with Commissioner Weeks, it's a good thing.
This is a public hearing, so we will open the public hearing if anyone wishes to speak. Yes.
George Douglas Lehman, 1150 East Plant Street in Winter Garden. I am the adjoining property owner on the southeast corner of 11th Street. I own the majority of the block to the east. I think it's a wonderful job as far as what the designers, the architects, the planners, and everything. I'm fully in support of the project, and I think it will be a wonderful addition to the city of Winter Garden.
Thank you. Anyone else? ordinance 23-05 and 23-06. We need to add that change in there for the left and second reading. About the reclaim. About the reclaim.
Reclaim connection.
She'll have that for the second.
Okay,
You'll
that's
need
fine.
that.
Yeah, and with staff recommendations.
And the second reading, public hearing on February 23rd.
Yes, sir.
So we have a motion, we have a second. Second, we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Second reading, public hearing, proposed ordinance 23-04.
Yes, sir. Ordinance number 23-204, an ordinance of the city of Winter Garden, Florida, pertaining to the Board of Commissioners of the Community Redevelopment Agency, amending section 98-121, governing the Board of Commissioners of the Community Redevelopment Agency with respect to appointment, removal, and terms of members, providing for severability, conflicts, complication, and effectiveness. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. This is the item that we discussed at the last meeting. It's an ordinance that removes the term limits for the CRA Advisory Board and then staggers the terms. So what you're approving would be removing the term limits, providing an extension to the current board members, allowing those terms to be staggered, and then beginning in July of 2023, we'll start the reappointments. You'll have 3 that come before you in July of 2023.
Any questions from the commission? No? Once again, this is a public hearing. We will open a public hearing if anyone wishes to speak. Seeing none, we will close the public hearing and we need a motion.
Motion to approve ordinance 23-04.
We have a second?
Second.
Motion in 2 delayed seconds. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried unanimously. Recommendation to approve continuing service agreement with Tool Design Group. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. This is a continuing services agreement with Tool Design Group to help with traffic calming and other design we have throughout the city. We've been working with them for the past several years to help with the design of Dillard Street, downtown, and many other areas in the city to help, like I said, traffic calming. Staff would recommend approval of the continuing services agreement. Now, we have to answer any questions.
They're going to have a lifetime job here on Dillard Street. Eventually we will. Okay, any questions from the commission? We need a motion.
Make a motion to approve the continuing services agreement with Tool Design Group.
Okay, do we have a second? Second. Motion is second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Recommendation to approve and award Orange County piggyback contract with Middlesex Corporation. Yes, sir.
This is the 2023 road resurfacing project. Staff is requesting approval to piggyback an Orange County contract that they have with Middlesex Corporation to mill and resurface the roads that are outlined in the attachments that you have. The work will begin the week of March 13th, where they will do Tilden Middle School Road, since it's adjacent to the school. We've made it very clear to them that we're open and flexible with our schedule to finish all of the rest of it. And they've said they'll have it done by July 31st. Valencia Shores, unfortunately, will be moved out of this year's because there's water lines and other improvements that need to be made, so we'll probably bring it next year under capital improvement. And we'll do Marsh Road at a later date as well, later in the year, because we're currently working on other traffic calming ideas and designs down that area of Marsh Road. So staff would recommend approval of the piggyback contract and allow Middlesex to do it at a price not to exceed $2 million.
Roads are so expensive.
Those are expensive.
No,
We'll reduce it quite a bit by taking, Valencia Shores out. We may do come up with another subdivision to do.
You had listed them all here, street paving projects,
Yes, sir.
by road, but the last one wasn't on here. I wish I had seen it. Where you're doing South Main Street and 535 from Story to Palmetto.
It's called out as Woodland Main.
That's called Woodland. Yeah, thank you.
Sorry for the confusion on that.
Got it. Thank you. Any questions from the commission?
Just a comment, I had a chance to read
just really want to thank both the city manager and Director Tashley. These are expensive projects, but without these piggyback agreements, these would be cost prohibitive in many cases and would not get the work done. So hats off to both of you. It's a tremendous savings, cost avoidance, a better word, not having this. So good work working it out. Appreciate it. And being flexible so we can get the best price. That was a good trade. Very good. We need a motion. Motion to approve and award the Orange County piggyback contract with Mosaic Corporation for 2023 street paving project for an amount not to exceed $2 million. Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion second, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, sir. Recommendation to approve the site plan for 15304 Tilton Road.
Thank you. This is a request for site plan approval for 2 new buildings on the Foundation Academy campus located at 15304 Tilden Road. The applicant is proposing to build a new 2-story classroom building and a single-story cafeteria building on the property. The project includes some minor site plan changes, including shifting a driveway and adding additional walkways and a covered vestibule. The proposed building additions are consistent with the campus master plan that was included with the property's PUD zoning ordinance. Staff has reviewed the application and recommends approval of the site plan with staff conditions. Happy to answer any questions.
Questions from the commission?
I think it's a great project.
Thanks
for our kids.
UFC. Great project for our kids. They do a good job. We need a motion.
Motion to approve the site plan for 15304 Tilden Road.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. 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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Bowman. Recommendation to approve site plan for 705 Hennis Road.
Thank you. This is a request for site plan approval of a new office warehouse building located at 705 Hennis Road. The lot is 0.86 acres in size and the property is zoned I2 General Industrial District. The applicant is requesting to build a new 8,382 square foot building on the property, which would have 5 units and 2 levels, including an exterior second floor walkway balcony. The project includes associated site development such as a parking area and landscaping. I wanted to briefly clarify something about the elevations that were shown in the event packet. We had been working through some staff requested revisions on the architecture and neglected to notice that the renderings were actually shown flint. So the bay doors that you see here with the big block letters there, that's actually located on the southern elevation as opposed to the northern one. So I apologize about that discrepancy. You caught that. So they're actually located on the south side of the site, and the storefronts are located on the north side of the site. So with that clarification, staff has reviewed the application and recommends approval subject to staff conditions. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the commission? Do they have the stairwell front and the back, right?
They have
On the
the,
building?
yes,
Back.
it wraps around
Yeah.
the elevations.
Okay, so I would like. Okay. We need a motion. So moved. We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Recommendation to approve agreement acquisition of property located at 15275 West Colonial Drive. Yes, sir.
Everybody else is trying to save money, I'm trying to spend some.
Motion to approve.
We have had a running dispute with the school board for years regarding the use of West Orange Technical Center, some surrounding properties, the farm next door, and even Maxey Elementary. Recently, in the last year, the school board has come to us and said, we're taking West Orange Technical College and moving it to a COE, by a COE High. Most of the disputes that we've had with them was for their future plans to build a bus parking station and repair facility in that area. The school board held a community meeting, which many of you attended, and the community convinced them they were barking up the wrong tree. That was not the place to do that. That Drew High School, which was located in that facility and has a lot of historical significance, which have been